what is the next step then? You've got your Model S, you're profitable, you're actually producing more Model S's than you originally thought you would. So what is the next step? Is it now focused on the Model X, the SUV?
Well, in the very near term, the next step is delivery of Model S vehicles to Europe, because thus far all of our production has gone to North America. We'll start shipping to Europe with arrivals there in July. And then we'll start shipping to Asia in probably the fourth quarter.
Okay.
And really expanding the exports of the Model S. And then Model X will be at the end of next year. And then our third generation car, which will be half the price of the Model S. And that's really the car that I've wanted to create from the beginning, which is to create a compelling, affordable car that has a range of at least 200 miles. And that's, I think with our third generation of technology and with economies of scale, I think we'll be able to do that in about 3 to 4 years.
3 to 4 years from now, okay. Elon, I know you also talked about the driverless technology or making cars run on autopilot the way planes do as well. I know you've been talking with Google about this. How are those discussions going? Sure.
Well, Larry Page and Sergey are good friends of mine. I've known them actually for a really long time, and I'm in general a fan of the whole Google team. So it'd be great to work together with them on self-driving cars, or I think maybe the word autopilot I slightly prefer. But I do think that the implementation needs to be a little bit different, because the current Google system is very expensive and makes use of LiDARs. And I think it would be better to make use of a system with cameras and radars rather than LiDARs.
All right, Elon, just on a final note, on a very different subject I want to ask you about. You and your other tech entrepreneurs like Mark Zuckerberg, like Larry Page and others, have talked about and gotten behind the immigration reform effort. And we all know about Mark Zuckerberg's super PAC, the Forward.us. You recently stepped down, though, from that program or that organization. Did you step down because of its affiliation with oil companies, with the Keystone Pipeline?
Well, I don't want to say too much. I think many of the objectives of Forward.us are right, and we certainly do need immigration reform. I think the immigration system is kind of messed up, and I think almost everyone agrees that we need some immigration reform. But I think the right way to get that immigration reform is to argue for it on the merits of the cause, and I don't think we want to. We want a political system that is less cynical over time, and that we as citizens push to be less cynical, and we should not play to that cynicism.
And Elon, I did want to ask you, because I know, when I visited you at the SpaceX headquarters, you've talked time and again about how the traffic kills you on Highway 405, and I know you put in $50,000 into it to try to expand the lanes, and
that's a drop in the bucket.
Right, a drop in the bucket. So are you going to put any more money into it?
Well, the thing is that I'm obviously quite preoccupied with Tesla and SpaceX, and then to a much lesser degree, Solar City, and then family and whatnot. So there's not a lot of time left over to do things on the 405. Although it does occur to me that if I did help fix the 405, I might have more time for those things, as would many people in Los Angeles. Gridlock is just a soul-destroying thing. If you're sitting there in traffic trying to get home, and there have been many times where I've tried to get home to see my kids before they get to bed, and I'm sitting there in traffic that isn't moving. I get home, they're already asleep, and then I have to get up and leave before they even wake up. So it's really not great.